Urgent message. Your enemies will blame you. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family. Urgent message. Your enemies will blame you. Okay? Now understand something, y'all. This is a given when you are chosen. This is something that's going to happen by default. They have to shift the blame onto someone else. They have to shift the blame on the person who's been doing nothing but helping them. And they have to shift the blame on someone who's like the poster child, right? Like, you're always doing things right. You are the individuals who people look up to. And you are the person who people ask for help, advice, counsel from. Understand something, y'all. You're not normal. You're not average. And other individuals, such as your enemies, are going to blame you for where they are, for what they don't have, right? For why they could not break you, hurt you, harm you, destroy you. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Your enemies are going to blame you, all right? Somebody drop in the comments and say it's not my fault. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say it's not my fault. See, it's not your fault the way that you shine. It's not your fault the way that you are smart and intelligent, right? It's not your fault the way that you have allowed God to call you and you answer. It's not your fault. And so many people are going to be mad and pissed off because of that specific reason, all right? They're going to blame you. Relationships, family members, right? Marriages, friends, right? Anytime they talk about you, it's going to be because of what you did. It's going to be because of what you didn't do. It's going to be because of how you acted within that encounter with them. They're going to blame you. And so within this video, y'all, I'm just, number one, clarifying that this is an urgent message, all right? This just happened to somebody on the job, in a family relationship. The list goes on. So this is a certified urgent message. But not only that, y'all, it is a prophetic message, because I'm letting you know right now that your enemies are going to blame you, all right? They're not going to blame anyone else. All right. America doesn't blame America for why America is in debt. America doesn't blame America for why they are going at it with different countries. Right. And we all know that America is the biggest bullies. Reno, or are the biggest bullies. Reno, what are you saying right now? That is the same exact thing with your enemies. They're not going to take accountability for why the relationship is in the hectic space is in. They're not going to take accountability for why you actually left off of the job. They're not going to take accountability for why y'all are not speaking anymore. They won't take that accountability. They're just going to blame you. All right. But with that being said, y'all, enough going into this long rant. Y'all know how I do. All right. But we're here on the great couch, okay, and we're about to go ahead and get directly into this video. All right, sending nothing but love, peace, happiness, prosperity, and blessings to the family once again. So let's get right into it. But before we do so, y'all make sure y'all leave a thumbs up on this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. Let's get into this divine message, family. So once again, urgent message, your enemies will blame you. First reason why, number one, it is the easy route. All right. It is the easy route. You know, family, when you're talking about blaming someone else, that shifts the responsibility, right, onto them. It shifts the accountability onto them. It is the easy route, right? So for instance, if you got a person trying to lose weight, let's just say they 300 pounds, you know, 5'1", they are obese at this point. 300 pounds, 5'7", 5'4", right? They're pretty much obese at 300 pounds, okay? And if anyone's 300 pounds, y'all, I'm not, throwing shade, but this is just the reality. And then on my channel, y'all, we keep it real, right? But you're pretty much obese at 300 pounds, 5'1". And if you're watching TV talking about, oh, We can get you to lose weight and fat. What does that sound like, y'all? Ozempic, right? I think it's called Ozempic or Ozempia, but they generally have the same, things, right? The same side effects. So when a person is taking this Ozempia or Ozempic, yeah, they may get results, but Ozempic, to my understanding, has been killing people, right? It's like a shortcut. We seen Busta Rhymes use Ozempic. We seen Ice Spice use Ozempic. Ozempic can really make you lose some crazy weight, right? To where it looked like you put Pookie from New Jack City. But the point of what I'm saying is, y'all, that would be more so of the easy route, okay? BBLs, where the women want to look snatched when she walking outside. I get it. I understand. You see this young lady over here. You see, the bad issues. Okay, I said issues, right? You see him over here with all the celebrity guys, the guys who got the money. I understand you probably want some of that, right? It look good. However, what they don't tell you is you run a risk of losing your life and you will not even be able to sue the company, right? Can you imagine losing a loved one? And we seen it. We seen the young lady, the two young ladies, right? One was 28 or 29 and the other one was 18. One got a tummy tuck, she lived. The other one got the BBL, she died. She laid down and didn't get back up. And again, you won't be able to sue for the loss of your loved one. This is what happens when you're trying to take a shortcut. So getting back to the point, y'all, all right? It's not about BBLs. It's not about tummy tucks. It's not about even losing weight. What it is about is not taking the shortcut, right? Somebody drop in the comments and say no shortcuts. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say no shortcuts, right? So they want to take the shortcut. Now, let's just reverse all of these different things, right? Instead of getting the BBL, you go to the gym and just do glutes, right? Do squats, work on your glutes. Instead of trying to get Ozempic or Ozempia, you just gonna work out, exercise, go jog, get up for a change, and go, handle your business, right? Instead of trying to do other things that give you the shortcut, right? You're taking the long way instead of seeking instant gratification. Easy route. I can give anybody $1 million, but does it make them a millionaire? I can give anybody a lot of money, but does it make them responsible or a great manager? It doesn't. It is the experience. It is the things that they have went through that makes them who they are. All right. But without beating that into a pulp, y'all, they want to take the easy route. And this is why they rather blame you. It was their fault. They did it. All right. So be calm, y'all. Don't worry about it. This is what they do. And you're going to always prosper and come out on top. Right. Somebody drop in the comments and say, I will prevail. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, I will prevail. All right. Moving on to the next one, y'all, is going to be number 2. That is regulating emotions. All right. Regulating emotions. We pretty much know what this is, but let me break this down for you, family. When you are regulating your emotions, you need a reason to feel how you feel. You need a reason to respond how you respond, and you need a reason, okay, to react the way you react. So for instance, let's just say, that this man keep on cheating, okay, and maybe she called him a few times and maybe she has not, right? However, if this man keep cheating, if he has this toxic trait and this toxic behavior, chances are he's going to want a reason to keep doing it. So he's going to want to regulate his emotions by doing it, right? So for instance, he may be in a position to where he's at home, he got something lined up, but he don't really have a reason to go out. He can't even find a reason to go out. He's just in the crib and he's pissed off. He with the kids, the dog in the house, the wife right here, and they all want to watch a movie. And he just found a reason to get in an argument to regulate his emotions. Like he need a reason to go do what he wants to do. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Somebody drop in the comments and say, don't give them a reason. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say don't give them a reason. See, the issue is, y'all, we give people reasons. No, don't give them a reason, because whenever they mess up, yep, whenever they step on the other side, yep, whenever they decide to double cross you and stab you in your back, they got to stay over there, right? And allow that bridge to burn, right? Now, here's the funny thing, y'all. You still don't even have to burn a bridge just to never cross it again. So even if you don't want to burn the bridge, you can just cut it off, meaning you're blocked off. You can never cross this bridge again. Either or, y'all, we let them stay on the other side. We don't allow them to have any more access, and we don't give them another opportunity to hurt us worse than what they did in the beginning. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? So they're going to regulate their emotions, whether they have to manipulate you, whether they have to lie to themselves. Some people become very delusional, right? A lot of people become very delusional. You know what? I had to steal it because they wasn't using it. No, you stole it, you clown. You stole it, right? I had to go over there because I'm sure that he wanted my attention. So yeah. No, you had a husband and you went in that man's presence and you did something that you was not supposed to do, which was throw a choosing signal. Once again, these are all examples of regulating your emotions. I have to make myself feel good by why I am doing something I know I'm not supposed to be doing. So let me regulate this, right? Let me make, a homosexual marriage a thing, right? I know I'm gonna get a lot of people who don't like this, y'all, but I gotta speak the truth. All right, let me allow certain people to have certain rights. Regulate these emotions. Something I know that is wrong, but I'm still going to set some type of rule or set some type of boundary in place that said that, you know what, you can do it, right? But anyway, y'all, regulating emotions, okay? Number 3 is gonna be this right here, family. Narcissistic personality disorder. All right, narcissistic personality disorder. Now I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm not a narcissistic, expert or coach. All right, I'm very familiar with it. I understand how narcissists play on empaths, and I'm very aware how narcissists play on people with good hearts and people who have something to give. Right, so I'm very aware of it, y'all. But I want to make this clear: I am not a narcissistic personality disorder expert, right? Disclosure. However, I have a great idea, and this is pretty much a conceited person who is self-centered. They think about themselves only, very selfish, not selfless, all right? And they prey on those who are selfless, meaning a person who was willing to fix me, but I never give them the credit for it. So a narcissist come into your life acting as if they're helping you. They come into your life acting as if they're pouring into you. But in actuality, you're really the one who's keeping them going. You're like the engine. You're the motor to why they're consistently riding. Make sense of what I'm saying? You are the motor. You are the motor. So, Reno, what are you saying right now? This person who has that narcissistic personality disorder is wired to blame other people, right? Why don't you have a haircut? Because they didn't give it to me, or they didn't pay for it, right? Why did you get a divorce? Because they did something wrong, or they was not willing to communicate, knowing that it was them who did something wrong and was not willing to communicate. You follow what I'm saying? So those who have NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, they are deflectors by nature. Y'all ever seen water mixed with oil? That's the same thing with the narcissistic person and the empath. It just ain't gonna happen. Now, you will see water and oil sit on top of one another, right? Well, you'll see the water sitting on top of the oil because the oil is more heavier, right? However, it doesn't mean that it mixed. That's how a narcissist and the empath is. A narcissist is that oil. The water sits on top of the oil, right? And see, the oil, it, it, it represents heaviness. It represents toxicity. It represents, something or someone that's not whole, right? It represents something that is full of darkness. Water is pure, right? Water is pure. You can see right through it. Its intentions. It's not so heavy, which means it's not a baggage, right? It's not brought here to drain you. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? So sticking to the point, a person with narcissistic personality disorder, this is who they are. They're going to pull you down naturally, drain you naturally. And of course, y'all, they're going to blame you for things that you did not do. They're notorious for playing victim, by the way, right? Throw a rock and hit you in your head, and then when you turn around and punch them in the face, they're like, hey, he hit me. But they didn't tell them that I threw a rock at his head or her head. So they're notorious for throwing rocks and hiding their hands. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. Number 4 is gonna be this right here, family. Lack of empathy. Lack of empathy, y'all. Like, when they was bleeding, you gave them the Band-Aid, right? When they were crying, you gave them the tissue to wipe their eyes. When they needed a place to stay, you provided shelter, a home. When they were hungry, you gave them food. That all happens from one word: empathy. See, when you have empathy for a person, you feel for their situation, right? When you have sympathy, you're like, I'm sorry about that, but not my situation. But when you have empathy, you feel, right? You feel like with the situation, y'all, with Kyron Lacey. I'm sure y'all heard about it. A young guy from Louisiana, and he ended up getting in a situation where he killed someone. He didn't try to. It was 100% unintentional. But in the States, y'all, if you kill somebody, you still got to see somebody about that, and that somebody is the judge. So if you kill someone, you gotta see the piper. It kind of is what it is. And it seems to be that he was going to get a sentence, and no one knows what it was, but either or. I think the minimum sentence on murder is like 1 to 2 years, I think, unless you get off on self-defense. And even still, you have to do a time until they acquit you on that case. But murder, he was probably going to get some time regardless, right? They didn't care about him playing football for LSU or none of that. But the point is, what I'm saying is, y'all, is that it was a lack of empathy, within that situation, right? I'm sorry, y'all, not a lack of empathy, but it's empathy that I had for that situation. I had empathy. I don't even know the young brother, but I had empathy, right? Like, I can feel, the pain of his mother, because I love my mom. I can feel the pain of that young man before he even took his life, feeling as if he was like, man, I messed my life up. Man, I could have done much better. Man, like, what was I thinking, right? And if I didn't disclose, how he murdered someone, it was through a car accident as well, right? A car accident. He didn't mean to. It was unintentional, but he still, did it. And him being young, we've all made young decisions, but it's one of them sticky situations. Like, when you become an adult, you get charged as one. You get held accountable, as one. So it's sad. But the point of what I'm saying is, y'all, I felt that. I had empathy. But there's so many people around the world like, he should go to prison, he should go to jail, and maybe he should have been punished just because of what the act was and taking someone's life, of course, due to reckless driving. But maybe he deserved a second chance within the system. God will forgive anyone, a murderer, a person who killed or stole or lied, adultery, whatever the case is. The point of what I'm saying is, it takes you to have empathy, and that's something that I had. But your enemies, those who blame you, those who are your enemies, your adversaries, they don't have empathy for you. They're looking for you to lose. They're looking for you to be hurt. They're looking for you to be destroyed. They have a lack of empathy, which causes them to blame you because they don't care how other people look at you. They don't care about your character, right? Somebody drop in the comments and say character is everything. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say character is everything. All right. Moving on to the next one, y'all, which is number 5. Last one. They avoid responsibility, right? They avoid responsibility. You know, I kind of touched on that earlier, y'all, but when people are avoiding responsibility, you have to know that they are going to be major deflectors, and they're going to be the first ones to blame, you know, everything on you, right? Like when a person go out to eat, you know, everything is all good until the bill come around. You know, hey John, hey man, that was some good food. Yeah, man, I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here though. Hey man, you ain't gonna pay for the food. I thought you had the bill. You know, they start avoiding their responsibility, right? Dion Cole had a joke. I'm talking about y'all. It was hilarious. He said, y'all ever been out to eat with some black people? He said, boy, it's stressful than a mug. You know, because he like, when the bill comes to a black table, everybody is, you know, like, hey man, hey, separate mine and do this and do that. People trying to leave, and you know, it just gets so stressful. But he said, you ever been out to eat with a white person? The food be free. He said they be fighting over the bill, you know. But there's a difference, y'all. One is responsible, right? And the other one is not. Of course, y'all, stereotypically, right? It's not a white black thing, y'all. Side jokes. But the point is, y'all, it's some truth in it too. Okay? But when people are avoiding responsibility, it's going to always be a case to where they're blaming someone else for why something else did not happen. This is why they are more problems, which means they're going to be unemployed, which means they're going to be lonely, which means they're going to have less friends, right? And having less friends is not always bad. But what I'm saying is that people are not going to want to be around you when you avoid responsibility and you're quick to blame someone else, right? People want to be around people who are solutions, right? People who can give great advice, someone who can pour into their life, right? Someone who can give them a great time. It's not always even about the money. It's about the energy that you have to give. Make sense of what I'm saying, family? They avoid responsibility. So urgent message, y'all, your enemies will blame you. They're going to blame you for that situation. They're going to blame you for that circumstance. They're going to blame you for why y'all are divorced. They're going to blame you for why y'all are breaking up. They're going to blame you for why the job went belly up, right? They're going to blame you for why whatever that happened terribly. It's your fault, okay? So understand that, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. But before I conclude this video, quick recap. Number 1, the easy route, y'all, is why they blame you. Number 2, regulating emotions. Number 3, narcissistic personality disorder. They straight narcissists, y'all. NPD, okay? Number 4, lack of empathy. They don't have that heart. They don't have it. And number 5, y'all, they avoid responsibility, all right? But with that being said, y'all already know how we do. Y'all make sure y'all get one of these Yes Sir t-shirts, Yes Sir hoodies. Y'all book a one-on-one session with me. It is a limited time, limited offer only, okay? Be sure, y'all, to get any one of my books, of course, y'all, and enroll into my social influence course. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Y'all keep a rich mentality. Peace.